In May 2025, history was made as the first direct train from China thundered into Tehran, Iran, after a journey that spanned continents and cultures. This was more than just a train's arrival. It was the culmination of years of planning, negotiation and engineering, and the beginning of a new chapter in global trade. The opening of this overland route marks the birth of a new trade artery, a modern Silk Road, not of camel caravans, but of steel rails and roaring locomotives. It's a vision brought to life, connecting distant economies and peoples across vast, challenging terrain. Stretching over 10,000 kilometers, this railway is a marvel of both engineering prowess and diplomatic coordination. It directly links two of America's principal rivals, China and Iran, forging a corridor that could reshape the economic and political landscape of Eurasia for decades to come. The project required not just steel and concrete, but also delicate negotiations between countries with complex histories. But this railway is about more than just moving cargo. It's a bold statement, a symbol of a world where the old rules are changing. For centuries, maritime routes policed by the US Navy have been the backbone of global trade. Now, for the first time in modern history, a viable overland alternative is emerging, challenging the status quo. For Iran, the China-Iran Railway is a vital economic lifeline, offering new opportunities for growth and connection to global markets. For China, it's a strategic leap forward, deepening its influence across the region and signaling Beijing's ambition to build a new, interconnected world order, one where Chinese infrastructure and investment are at the heart of global commerce. By bypassing traditional maritime chokepoints like the Strait of Malacca and the Suez Canal, this land bridge offers a resilient alternative, less vulnerable to naval blockades, piracy, or political instability at sea. It's a strategic insurance policy for countries wary of disruptions to their supply chains. For China and its partners, this is more than just a railway. It's a step toward greater economic and strategic autonomy, a move to reduce dependence on Western-controlled routes and institutions, and a chance to shape the future of Eurasian integration on their own terms. Yet, questions remain. Is this the dawn of a new era of Eurasian unity and prosperity, or a risky venture that could spark new tensions and instability? The world is watching closely, as the stakes could not be higher. The ultimate success or failure of this ambitious railway will send ripples far beyond its tracks, redrawing the map of global power and influence for generations to come. The China-Iran Railway is a cornerstone of China's Belt and Road Initiative, aiming to resurrect ancient trade routes and bind nations closer to Beijing. For China, it's about securing energy and expanding markets. For Iran, it's a lifeline out of economic isolation caused by Western sanctions. The route, stretching from Xi'an through Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan to Iran, reflects a complex diplomatic dance among several nations. A pivotal meeting in Tehran in May 2025 brought together officials from across the region, highlighting ambitions for a transcontinental rail network. The 25-year China-Iran Strategic Cooperation Agreement, signed in 2021, provided the political and financial foundation for this project. The railway stands as the most tangible outcome of that partnership, a physical challenge to the Western-led global order. The corridor's inauguration in May 2025 was a carefully orchestrated triumph, the result of years of negotiation, engineering, and international cooperation. Dignitaries from both China and Iran gathered at the bustling Xi'an station, their speeches echoing the promise of a new era in Eurasian trade. The event was broadcast live, symbolizing not just the opening of a railway, but the forging of a powerful new link between East and West. The first freight train embarked on its journey, covering over 10,400 kilometers from Xi'an to Tehran in just 15 days, an astonishing feat that cut transit time by more than half compared to the traditional sea route. This overland corridor not only slashed delivery times, but also offered a more predictable and reliable schedule, free from the uncertainties of maritime shipping. Trains operate on a block system, minimizing delays and maximizing efficiency. At each border, cargo containers are seamlessly transferred, thanks to harmonized customs procedures and advanced logistics technology. This smooth handover ensures that goods keep moving, regardless of changing rail gauges or national regulations. China sends high-value electronics, advanced machinery, and manufactured goods westward, while Iran loads the trains with petrochemicals, minerals, and agricultural products. This exchange fuels industries on both sides, deepening economic ties and creating new opportunities for businesses and workers. By crossing the heart of the continent, this railway bypasses maritime chokepoints patrolled by the U.S. Navy, offering a secure and stable alternative for high-value trade. For many exporters, this means less risk of disruption and a safer passage for sensitive cargo. Recent instability in the Red Sea has made this overland route even more attractive. As shipping costs soared and vessels faced delays or blockades, the railway provided a vital lifeline, insulating trade from the volatility of global shipping lanes and ensuring that goods reached their destinations on time. The infrastructure is specifically designed to support energy trade, with dedicated facilities for loading oil, gas, and other resources. This provides a discreet, sanction-proof channel for Iranian exports, allowing energy to flow even when maritime routes are threatened or restricted. Now, trade can occur outside the reach of Western financial systems, undermining the effectiveness of U.S. sanctions. Transactions are settled in local currencies or through alternative banking channels, giving both countries greater independence and flexibility. Ultimately, the railway cements China's role as Iran's primary economic and strategic partner, strengthening their alliance and reshaping the balance of power across Eurasia. The China-Iran Railway is a geopolitical earthquake, anchoring Iran within an emerging Eurasian system led by Beijing and Moscow. It challenges decades of U.S. policy aimed at isolating Tehran, giving Iran new economic and political resilience. Iran's parliament, emboldened by the railway, even threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, knowing it now has an alternative export route. The railway counters U.S.-backed projects like the India-Middle East-Europe corridor, creating a rival bloc and intensifying competition over future trade routes. Western capitals are alarmed as the railway undermines U.S. sanctions and global financial control. Direct rail links allow transactions outside American supervision, making previous U.S. strategies obsolete. China and its partners are actively building a parallel system immune to American economic coercion. The railway's most dramatic impact is on the effectiveness of international sanctions. By providing a reliable and efficient overland route, it significantly undermines the ability of Western nations to enforce economic restrictions. It creates a direct overland route for goods, bypassing Western-controlled shipping, insurance, and payment systems. This not only facilitates the movement of goods but also reduces the risk and cost associated with maritime transport. This corridor is a purpose-built tool for sanctions evasion, fostering a self-contained economic ecosystem between China, Iran, and Central Asia. It allows these nations to trade freely without the fear of international interference. Iran's oil exports, once reliant on risky ghost ships, now have a secure, less visible alternative. This overland route ensures that Iranian oil can reach its destinations without the constant threat of interception. Payments can be settled bilaterally, bypassing the US dollar and Treasury oversight, ensuring China's energy security and Iran's revenue. This financial independence is crucial for both nations as they navigate a complex global landscape. The railway also transforms trade in other goods, giving Iranian producers faster access to China and providing Iranian consumers with reliable Chinese imports. This exchange boosts local economies and strengthens bilateral ties. By slashing transit times and costs, the railway makes trade more profitable and competitive, deepening economic interdependence. This efficiency is a game-changer for businesses on both sides. This integration strengthens the strategic alignment between Beijing and Tehran against external pressures. It solidifies their partnership and presents a united front in the face of global challenges. The railway's route through Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan offers Central Asia a vital new connection to global markets. These landlocked nations gain direct access to Iran's ports, opening trade with the Middle East, Africa, and beyond. The corridor transforms Central Asia from isolated states into a land bridge between East and West, reducing reliance on Russian infrastructure. China's broader push includes new rail links across the region, weaving a dense web of steel that strengthens its economic influence. However, greater connectivity brings new dependencies, as these nations balance sovereignty with the benefits of Chinese investment. Central Asia's leaders know their new lifeline ties them to a high-stakes geopolitical project offering both opportunity and risk. The railway's strategic importance has made it a focal point of regional conflict. Its launch was seen as a direct challenge to Israel and the US, provoking tensions that led to Israeli airstrikes on Iran in June 2025, damaging parts of the railway. The conflict exposed the vulnerability of fixed land corridors in volatile regions. The China-Iran railway is now a strategic asset and potential military target, not just an economic project. It also competes with US-backed initiatives like the India-Middle East-Europe corridor, representing rival visions for Eurasian trade. China's decisive investment has eclipsed India's efforts in Iran, showing that speed and commitment are key in infrastructure politics. The outcome of these competing corridors will shape who controls Eurasian trade for decades. In this high-stakes game, infrastructure is both a tool and a target. Experts call the China-Iran railway a game-changer for Iran's economy and China's energy security. It gives Tehran a way to blunt Western sanctions and helps China secure supply chains from maritime disruptions. But the recent conflict showed the railway's vulnerability. Any major war could sever the line and force trade back to contested sea routes. The project is a direct challenge to American hegemony, offering a real alternative to the US-dominated global system. The railway's significance is as much ideological as economic, symbolizing a shift toward a multipolar world order. Its success could usher in a new era of Eurasian integration. Its failure would be a setback for both China and Iran. The future of this bold project depends on the fragile peace of a volatile region. The China-Iran railway is a bold line on the map of a new world order, rewriting the rules of regional trade and great power competition. It's a tool for China to project power, for Iran to survive, and for Central Asia to find new prosperity. Yet, as recent conflict shows, new connectivity brings new vulnerabilities. The railway's fate will influence energy prices, supply chains, and strategic decisions worldwide. It's a real-world test of whether a parallel, non-Western system can endure under pressure. Will this Iron Silk Road foster prosperity or fuel new conflicts? Share your thoughts below.